Hello, Aries, and welcome to your reading for the week of March, well, the 2-week period of March 12 through 25, 2024. As I explained, if you follow my Instagram page, I am now doing readings every 2 weeks, and I'm going to do 6 signs one week and 6 signs the next week. So this is your week, and I will do a reading to cover the 2-week period of time, so that then the next time that I come and do a reading for you, we will just pick up where we left off. And this week, I'm doing a full horoscope spread. Now, even though this is a tarot reading per se, I'm going to be using the Way of Cartouche deck. And usually I use tarot to clarify, but this week I feel called to use the Black Moon astrology cards as the clarifier. So we're going to clarify with those. We do have a retrograde coming up. Mercury retrograde begins on April the 1st. So it will not be the period of time of this reading. However, Mercury retrograde pre-shadow begins on March the 18th. So you may, if you have strong Mercury somewhere in your chart, you may be very much affected by that. Now the other deck that we're going to use to clarify, at the end we're going to do a summary with the Essential Oil Oracle. So we will pull a card and read that one at the end. If you're new to this channel, welcome. It's good to have you here. And if you are returning, welcome back. I hope this is a good reading for you this week. And if you are interested in any of my spiritual coaching services, readings, or just want to follow my social media, other things, all those links are down in the description below for this video. Okay, so that's that all taken care of and out of the way. Yes, and if you do like this video, please give a thumbs up, like the video. Leave me a comment if you choose, and also if you do enjoy getting these videos and you want to make sure you don't miss them, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Okay, now we've covered all the business. So let's start with the first house, Aries. This is your own energy. First house of Aries means your personality, how you present yourself to the world, what other people think of you. And it's really interesting because you have the Sirius card with Chiron. Now, when I was starting to lay this reading out, I'm thinking, I'm doing a reading for Aries. And I thought, well, the significant thing right now is that Chiron is in Aries. And of course, in your reading, Chiron is in Aries as well. So it's just funny that I thought it and then it actually turned up that way. But Chiron here has to do with where our wounds are, okay? Chiron is the wounded healer. He's a centaur. He was a teacher to Achilles. And to Heracles, actually, but I believe it was Heracles who wounded Chiron, and when he wounded him, because Chiron was immortal, he was wounded with a poison tip arrow, and he couldn't die. So eventually, he ended up exchanging his immortality with with Prometheus, I think it was, if I'm remembering correctly, but they did some kind of an exchange, and Chiron was finally able to die. But he's the wounded healer, so because Chiron is the centaur who actually knows all of the healing arts, and yet he's wounded and cannot heal himself. So that is the essence of Chiron, and Chiron astrologically is an asteroid. And where Chiron appears in our chart is where the wound is. Now, Chiron currently is in Aries. And some of you may have had Chiron and Aries at birth. I know I did. And Chiron and Aries indicates a wound. And in Aries in particular, it has to do with us being misunderstood or our efforts not appreciated in some way. So when the first house is affected by the quote unquote, the wound, then I think this is where we may be feeling, we may be in a state of mind right now where we're feeling that maybe we have hurt feelings, maybe we've tried to do things for people and we feel that they're not appreciated or understood. Could be in that kind of a state of mind. We have it with the Sirius card, and Sirius has to do with, this has to do with breadth of vision, of thinking about things differently, thinking outside the box. So I would suggest that the two of these together suggest that one of the challenges that we have with this is to be able to, because our wounds, everybody is wounded. There's no getting through life without a wound. And we're always wounding each other as others wound us. It's always kind of a perpetual cycle that goes on. So the idea is, how do we think differently about the wound, okay? Sirius has to do with breadth of vision, thinking about things differently. There's also a strong physical component to Sirius. So maybe for some people, maybe you're being very critical and very hard on yourself in terms of your appearance. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I need to lose weight. I need to go on a diet. I need to, there may be just some aspect of yourself that you want to change. I don't recommend making any drastic changes to your appearance as we approach. I mean, it's not Venus retrograde, but nonetheless, we sometimes will do things when we're coming upon a period like that. And then once the period is over, we may regret that we actually did it. So so I just feel like you could be very self-critical these days, and maybe you could be feeling underappreciated, but there's definitely a sense that you want to think beyond what's in front of you. Like, it seems like there's more depth to the situation than what you're seeing. Okay, second house is Taurus energy. This has to do with your finances. And okay, so we have the lunar eclipse card, and there is a lunar eclipse coming up, by the way, on the 25th of March, the last day that this reading covers. So I feel that this could literally mean for some of you that the lunar eclipse is significant. The lunar eclipse card generally, it brings change, and these are unexpected changes. The kinds of changes that come with eclipses, they tend to be they tend to be unexpected. They tend to come out of the blue. They tend to have, and it tends to be bringing things forward that maybe have been quote unquote lurking in the shadows in some fashion. Now with it, you have scarab. So scarab indicates a change or a new beginning. So for some people, this could be a new job or a new income stream. Connected with the lunar eclipse, I also feel like there may be an ending connected with this. Maybe there's something that you were doing before that has come to an end, or maybe there's going to be something unexpected that occurs in connection with this new income stream. I don't know. I mean, lunar eclipse can indicate, the need for caution, and perhaps the sense that we don't have all of the information about something in front of us. Because again, I feel like eclipses will bring wild cards that we did not expect. So I feel like there's some new beginning that you have here financially. Maybe something new that you're doing to make money or whatever, but it does seem like there's going to be some unexpected thing that comes in here. It doesn't have to be bad. Usually these things that come in are there to illuminate what's going on to us so that we can make the appropriate changes. Third house is Gemini energy, and this has to do with communications, self-employment. It can have to do with your sibling relationships, brother-sister relationships. It can also have to do with travel, but short distance travel, not long travel. Okay, so we have Hathor with Mars. Now Hathor, okay, well there's actually strong mother energy, and just like Isis, there's strong mother energy attached to Hathor. Or it could indicate the communications with somebody who is a female, or strong, somebody who's a strong female presence of some kind. Because we have it with Mars though, and Mars is about taking risks, taking action. So I don't know, maybe it may tailing you to take a risk in communication, perhaps with a female. I don't know. This could have to do with business. This could just be something else. It could have to do, like I said, with a family situation, since we're seeing sibling relationships. But Mars seems to indicate the need to take action and to move ahead on something. It's the card of force. So again, we don't want to be too aggressive, and we don't want other people to be coming in and taking control of us. But there does seem to be some kind of a matter in which, Hathor as a card of femininity can also indicate the passive side of things, the yin side, the more passive side. But I feel like Hathor is somebody who's kind of getting things organized, getting it together. You know what I mean? And like I said, because of its strong feminine energy, it could literally have to do with a female who's either involved in something to do with your business, or like I said, this could be a family member, or just somebody else who you are in communication with. But yeah, if there are no particular females that seem to fit the bill here, then again, this could be just saying you need to get organized and get moving on something. So take that as it resonates. But what I kind of get in my mind is that there may be some kind of communication with somebody that you're hesitating on and putting off, and it's saying it's time for you to move ahead and use that Aries energy that you naturally have to move ahead on that. Okay, fourth house. This is Cancer energy. This has to do with your home, your family, your roots. Can have to do with the literal physical place that you live. If people are moving, that could be part of it as well. but there is, there's a strong sense, this is strongly tied to family, to ancestral ties, to your sense of security, and also to where you live. Okay, so we have Lotus with the 7th house card. Okay, now the 7th house is Libra energy, and Libra has to do with partnerships. So I don't know if somebody's moving in with you, or if you're taking on a new roommate or something like that is happening. Or if there's some kind of a partnership, maybe somebody in your family is going to be getting married or something happening like that. But there's definitely this sense of another person coming in to a particular situation. I don't know if that has to do with the female over here, but we have Lotus here too. So Lotus has to do with anxiety. So I feel like there may be some situation that you have been anxious about. And this is suggesting that there is a need to calm the mind. It may well be that you need support in something. This could also just be somebody who is providing support. 7th house doesn't have to be a marriage partner. It can also just be a business partner. It can have to do with contractual relationships and things like that. But there definitely seems to be the element of another person or a second party here in conjunction with yourself, who may be, there may be a home or family situation that's connected in here. And again, there seems to be something where there's some kind of anxiety, but Lotus would be telling you this is something where you don't need to worry. Now, Lotus, card 16, 1 plus 6 adds up to 7, and this is a card of the 7th house. So I don't know if the number 7 is relevant here, if this is something that's going to be in 7 days, like a week from now, if it's going to be, 7 weeks, 7 months, I don't know. But definitely there may be some concerns, or maybe there's been some anxiety over a partnership. Maybe somebody's thinking about moving in and you're saying, I don't know, like maybe you're peaceful continuity. Maybe you want to kind of keep things where they are if you don't live with somebody. If you already do, then this could have to do with a family member. It could have to do with your mother. Maybe somebody who's helping your mother out or something as well. All of these things are possible, but again, this is a general reading. I'm covering all angles, so take it as it resonates for you personally and leave what doesn't apply. 5th house, Leo energy. This is creativity, that any kind of creative projects that you might be working on, whether for income or not for income. This can have to do with children. It can have to do with love affairs. So if you are single and looking for love, or if you are just dating, this would be an angle of that house. Also things you do for recreation and leisure. And we have the buckle of ice with buckle of Isis with Uranus. Okay. So there's a surprise pregnancy for somebody, okay? Now, that's a very specific thing. That's not the interpretation for everybody here. But buckle of Isis is in the 5th house, can be an omen of pregnancy for somebody, okay? It is a card of fertility, and it is showing up in the house of children. So maybe that's what's happening here. Maybe there's been an unexpected pregnancy, and so therefore there needs to be a marriage that occurs. Well, it doesn't need to, but maybe that's what's being contemplated here. And again, that's going to be true for some people and not for others. If that's a situation that completely does not apply to you, then buckle of Isis simply could indicate that work you are putting into a creative project will yield fruit. I mean, buckle of Isis indicates efforts being rewarded. It can also have to do, in a love affair, this can have to do with fidelity, somebody being faithful to you, okay? So if that's been a question with somebody, I don't know. I feel like what's coming into my mind is there's somebody here who needs to have a conversation with somebody. I have a feeling that maybe there is, and Uranus, there's a fair amount of spontaneity with this card. This would be a card. Okay, if we're talking about fidelity here, this is definitely a card of a lack of fidelity. Okay, Uranus as far as love affairs goes, indicates something unexpected, maybe somebody who's unconventional or has unconventional ways of approaching things. But Uranus could also just indicate somebody who is just very, very different. Like maybe you're going to meet somebody who is just very different from somebody who you perhaps dated before, or maybe just somebody who has very unconventional viewpoints. Uranus can be, it does tend to bring surprises, and it does kind of turn things upside down a bit. So, so this could actually even just be something with love where there's a sudden decision to do something. And again, we have this idea of a sacrifice that you make being rewarded. I can't help but feel for some of you that this relates back to what we're seeing over here. I feel like for some of you, perhaps this is referring to a woman. Maybe if this is a man looking at this reading, maybe this refers to a woman you're interested in, or if you're somebody who's interested in women, male or female, whichever, there could be a woman that's involved here. But Buckle of Isis would indicate, just doing something very suddenly or spontaneously, and that risk being rewarded. Okay, so that will be another angle of this, perhaps for somebody else. But again, if there's if this does have to do with creativity or creative project, then to me this would indicate that maybe you are doing something spontaneous and unconventional, and the work you do on that will yield positive results. Okay, 6th house. This is Virgo energy. This has to do with health, has to do with healing. It can have to do with a job. So if you work for somebody, this would have to do with employment or a job. It can also have to do with things that you are worried or anxious about. Okay, so we have water with the part of fortune. Okay, and the part of fortune is a really nice card because this is about increase. This is about things that bring you joy and things that flow to you easily. So if health has been an issue, if you feel like a decline in health, and this is a very good card, it would indicate an increase. This could be a joy that's connected with some kind of work that you do or some kind of service that you perform. Can also be connected to health potentially. Water here as a potential health thing could indicate somebody maybe who needs to drink more water or get more hydrated. That's possible. But it also can indicate a flowing or changeable kind of a situation. So for some people, this may mean a new job that's going to perhaps bring more money. We are seeing some kind of new income stream here. And yeah, there's a general indication that, things seem to be changing and you seem to be moving in the direction of increase. Now, maybe not a great card if you're looking to lose weight, but generally speaking, this is an energy that indicates that doors are going to be opening and obstacles are going to be lifting, and that seems to be where this movement comes. So if this has to do with a health matter, this would seem to indicate things flowing towards positive change. If it has to do with a job or a service, again, changes that are coming, perhaps something that brings you joy. And if there have been worries then about anything really, then this would suggest, again, things shifting and changing towards in a much more positive direction where obstacles are being lifted. Overall, I'm sorry, why am I saying over? I'm looking at the overall card. 7th house, Libra energy. Okay, so we got double Pisces here. We have Nephthys with the Pisces card. Okay, now this is a card of Libra house has to do with more serious partnerships, marriages, committed relationships, long-term partnerships, legal contracts. Okay, so Nephthys would indicate if I'm seeing, if this down here has to do with perhaps a sudden thing, maybe connected to a pregnancy, or maybe connected to fidelity or making commitment in a relationship, I feel like this is not something that's going to be happening yet. Okay, not that this is a not yet card. So it may be that there are other things to be sorted out, maybe other information that needs to come in. When you have double Pisces here, it can indicate a relationship situation where things are not clear, things are cloudy. Now, if you're, say, already married and in a stable relationship, then this could indicate some kind of cloudiness in some kind of situation between you and your partner. It can also have to do with a business relationship as well. So all of these things are possible, but there does seem to be a situation here connected to a partnership where things may not be clear right now. And I feel like it's saying you may need to wait before, say, signing any contracts. Certainly with Mercury retrograde coming up, which it's not here yet, this would be the time to sign a contract if you were going to. But there does seem to be something connected to a relationship that maybe you want to wait on right now, or maybe you're not ready for. There just seems to be some confusion or cloudiness that needs to be cleared up with a situation. So you may not be ready. So yeah, we have this spontaneous jumping in here. So if this is about a love relationship that you want to make more serious, then this would be saying, it's not saying that won't happen, but again, we have this idea of, well, maybe not yet. And number 7, again, is really prevalent here. 2 + 5 is 7 on top of this card, 25. And then you have the 7 here as well. So a lot of 7 energy here. Again, this could be something happening in 7 days, weeks, months. It could be the 7th month, it could be July. The 7 could also just have to do with the fact that you are, working towards something, and maybe you're in a period of reevaluation. So yeah, those are the general meanings of 7, certainly in terms of these systems. Okay, let's go to Scorpio energy, 8th house. This is a big transformations. This is about other people's money. And wow, you've got Ta with the Grand Trine, okay? Grand Trine is a wonderful aspect if you have it in your chart. It definitely allows certain things to flow more easily. And an 8th house Grand Trine means, again, same thing as part of fortune here, like everything's opening up. I feel like the world is going to be your oyster, so to speak. You'll be able to open things up and start to move ahead with things. It brings blessings. It removes obstacles, and you have it with Ta. So Ta is this Capricorn energy. It's Chthonia. So this has to do with working, like slowly building something. In the 8th house, it tends to have more spiritual connotations, the idea of building the temple of the psyche, so to speak, and learning one's lessons and putting things in their proper place. So I do feel like you are in a period of learning right now, but I feel like you have been putting a lot of the work into doing something. And again, with this, with the Grand Trine here, I just feel like everything's about to open up and your efforts are going to be blessed. So very good set of cards there. 9th house, this is Sagittarius energy. This has to do with long distance travel. It can have to do with opening up your horizons and expanding. It's Jupiter energy, so it could be higher ed, it can be going back to school, getting more credentials, educational institutions. Can also have to do with your beliefs, expanding your belief systems, thinking outside, thinking more deeply about philosophical or religious matters or spiritual matters. All of that's potential energy that has to do with the 9th house. Can have to do with independence and freedom, sometimes with legal matters. Okay, so we have Anubis with the 10th house. So 10th house is, that's the next house that we're going to look at, but the 10th house is about your legacy, about fortune, about completion of something. There's a very strong family vibe and connection here. The 10th house is about your fame and your reputation. It's referred to as the card of the world. It's not the same as the world in the tarot deck, but there definitely seems to be this sense that you could be traveling, and making you expand your horizons. There seems to be something that you're going to be doing, whether it's educating yourself in something or whether it's traveling or some other thing. There's definitely this sense of expanding your horizons. And I do feel like for some of you, this is going to be literal long distance travel, especially with Anubis here, because Anubis definitely is a card of navigation and travel and journeying. So yeah, for some of you, there's definitely going to be a long journey in the offing coming up. It also may be suggesting to you that maybe if you have been balking about taking a trip of some kind, that it is something that has the potential to open up a lot of doors for you, both professionally and financially. So 10th house, let's go to the actual 10th house, Capricorn energy. This is about, as I said, career, fame, reputation. And we have the Sphinx card here with the Grand Cross. Okay, so there's something going on in your career right now. Now, this Sphinx can indicate one of two things. It can indicate something secret, something you don't know about, that you need to find out. It can also have to do with things that are, so things that are kept secret, but it can also be a wait and see kind of a card. Maybe there is some kind of big career change you want to make. Maybe it's something you're keeping secret from people right now. I don't know. But you have it with this Grand Cross. So this is a little bit of a different energy from this Grand Trine and part of fortune. This is actually more like, there's like a pushback here. It's provoking, actually. So it's not so much that you may be meeting with resistance on something that you're doing. And maybe this is why it's telling you to wait and see. Maybe that's why we have this over here, especially if this involves working with somebody else on something. But the provoker card, I mean, yes, it can bring obstacles and resistance, but I also feel like it provokes. So in other words, it's trying to push us in a certain direction. Okay. So we're being provoked to take a certain kind of an action here. And, the circumstances around us maybe we have been comfortable in one place. Maybe we have been less inclined to act. Sphinx is a very passive card, and maybe it's saying, no, you're going to be provoked into action on something. Nonetheless, there still seems to be the sense that information is going to be revealed, something secret's that's going to come out. And whatever this secret thing is that you are, either you're going to reveal or whatever is going to be revealed to you, this may provoke you into a certain kind of action. So, yeah, so there could be, there could be some pushback or some difficulties. And wow, I'm looking at your 11th house here. Okay, you've got a lot of these destiny cards. You've got Part of Fortune, you've got Grand Trine, which are both great, but you've got the Grand Cross, and then you've got Yod, the Yod aspect. I'm just kind of laughing because I have at least, well, at least I have 2 out of these 3 aspects in my own chart. I have a Grand Trine, and I also have a Yod aspect. And Yod aspect, this is called the Finger of God, and it's called the card of destiny. So you have it with Bast. Now, Bast is a card of, okay, so this has to do with friendship. This could be about following your intuition. This could be, Bast has a very strong creative element to it, especially when it comes to, music, dancing, sports, things like that. But I feel like in the 11th house, this has a very strong social vibe to it. So there does seem to be this, and there's this need to be paid attention to by somebody, okay? So with Bast, I feel like there's somebody, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a business associate, maybe somebody whose attention you're looking to get right now. And you have it with the Yod aspect, though. So this is interesting because either somebody who's paying attention to you or you to them, potentially. I mean, this can also just be about something that comes out of your sense of intuition, maybe a situation that you're trying to handle cautiously and carefully because you want to be very diplomatic. Maybe you don't want to give as you wish to receive. There's that kind of energy. This is also a strong card of healing, okay? So there's strong healing energies, particularly for the mind with this card. And you have it with Yod. Okay. So this is a card of destiny. So I feel like there's going to be a friendship, a partnership, or something like that that has an element of destiny to it. Like there's something that, yeah, I mean, right now we're seeing in your partnership house that there are things that are unclear and are about to be revealed. But we also have this unexpected energy here in the 5th house and the 7th house. The fact that this is showing up in your house of home and family, this idea of a partnership. Sorry, brief video interruption there because a phone call came in and then the phone call disappeared. Okay. So we have this, okay, so the Yod aspect here has to do with, okay, it's not necessarily an easy card. The fact that it's a card of destiny doesn't just mean everything's going to flow to you. We have it with this Grand Cross energy over here. I don't know. There's definitely this strong sense. Okay, if I'm going to read this sort of holistically right now, I feel like there's something going on in your life. It's like the universe has moved in, taken over, and is dragging you in a particular direction. It may be dragging you towards a particular partnership or relationship, especially since I'm seeing it in this friendship house. I'm seeing this communication that you must make with somebody. It looks like a female person. And that you must, and again, it just feels like this may be something that just comes out of the blue. Maybe you're not clear. There's a lack of clarity here about things. And Yod does indicate something that's going to take some work. Yod, it generally indicates, the finger of God is pointing at you, and whatever it's assigning you to is not necessarily something that's that easy. So yeah, we're not talking about something where there's necessarily going to be 100% smooth sailing. Nonetheless, I feel very strongly for some of you, this is either work, whether it has to do with work or whether it has to do with love. There's some kind of a liaison that you are being pushed towards, and I feel like travel may be part of this, long distance travel, either for you or for somebody else. But yeah, there's you have a lot of strong aspects here that say that something's pushing you out of your comfort zone and in a new direction and towards somebody for some purpose, okay? It's going to be different for everybody, but I feel for some of you it's going to be love, for some it's going to be work, maybe it's going to be both. 12th house, we have Pisces energy, and Pisces has to do with what's hidden, okay, what we're not showing to other people. Now you have the Earth card here. So the Earth is definitely a very solid and grounded card, but I think in the 12th house, there may be some worries about finances. Now we do have this lunar eclipse card over here. So maybe you've had some money worries lately, maybe that you're not sharing with people. Maybe you're concerned about stability and security. Maybe that's why you have the 7th house down here. Maybe you're thinking of, hey, maybe I need somebody to move in to help with the bills or something like that. You know, I mean, it could be some kind of element here of you, finances or stability being a concern. And with Cancer, yeah, Cancer energy is definitely, it's very emotional, very moon-centered kind of energy, and it's the feeling of like wanting to withdraw, like wanting to crawl back into your hole and kind of hide out from people for a little bit. This is definitely the house of kind of working by yourself. And it could just indicate financial success working by yourself as well. But with Cancer here, I feel like feelings are involved. There needs to be a sense of focusing on your feelings, and yeah, just kind of making movements according to your feelings. But I also feel like, I don't know. I think there's kind of a fear here. Maybe there's okay. You know what I think this is? This is a fear of giving into feelings. I think maybe you are potentially a very practical person, and you try to keep your feet on the ground. I think you're somebody who wants to keep your feelings in check. But with what I'm seeing with Uranus here in the 5th house, all this confusion that we're seeing, this dreaminess that we see in the 7th house. The 7th house is Pisces. That's why I kind of feel this is relationship oriented, because you've got your Pisces energy over here in Libra in the 7th house. And I think for some of you, there's something, maybe there's strong feelings for somebody, and maybe you're afraid. Maybe you're afraid to take a risk and talk to somebody. Maybe you're afraid to move ahead. Maybe you're thinking about the family implications of something. I don't know if that's involved. But everything in the universe is definitely pushing you to move ahead. And if you don't move ahead, you're going to kind of be provoked in that direction, is what I'm seeing in this reading. But I think, this 12th house here, definitely there may be some concerns. Maybe you don't want to show your feelings. Maybe you're concerned about maintaining the stability. And like I said, financial stability could be part of this as well. But this is in the house of fear. So it's not really about what's really going to happen. And in fact, it's funny because you have the wing disc with the void of course moon. So void of course moon, I don't think this says the word on it is missing. The general meaning of a void of course moon, when a void of course moon comes about, and it's usually a certain aspect of the moon phase between the dark moon and the new moon, and astrologically it's a period where nothing happens. Okay, so it will be called the nothing will come of this situation card. So what I think, given everything else that I'm seeing here, I think you may be afraid of certain things. You may be afraid of losing your ground, of losing your stability. I think there's a lot of anxiety here about moving ahead with certain things, a lot of uncertainty. Maybe you're not clear. And this does seem to be connected to either a relationship or a work thing in particular. I feel more relationship-y, but it could be both. And this is saying nothing's going to come of that situation. Like whatever you're worried is going to, whatever your worries are over here, I think this is saying, nothing's going to come of that. And so that's really the more positive aspect of this card. It's saying, the things, and it also may be though, I feel like there could be some new things that you're starting, and there could be some unexpected obstacles here. And so maybe something that you think is going to move ahead, maybe not much is going to come of it. Okay. So you're in this kind of this period here where I feel like you may be waiting for the new to happen, waiting for more information, waiting for the new to happen. But there still does seem to be some level of action that you have to take. And so you have it with the winged disc. That's why I don't think this is a negative here. I think because winged disc indicates overcoming all obstacles. So I feel more like this is saying all the stuff that you're worried about, nothing's going to come of that. You're going to succeed. So let's see what the essential oil oracle card have for you this week, or this 2-week period of time. So what does Aries need to know from this March 12 to 25 period of time? Spread these out this way. Okay, the wild orange card is the one that you got, and the code word at the top here is good fortune. Okay, the trigger statement is there is not enough. The true statement is I attract abundance. Feel the joy you have once you have reached your goals here and now. You will achieve your dreams fastest that way. So yeah, in other words, you manifest things by feeling that you already have what you need. Rather than thinking about what you're lacking, think about how happy you're going to be to have everything, and that attitude will certainly bring that abundance towards you. And even if it's not just in thoughts, I mean, even in actions, even if we take a little thing, even if we feel like it's not going to go anywhere, even just taking that action can open up doors for us. So yeah, I feel overall this is a really good reading for you, Aries. But you definitely seem to be shuttled and being pushed towards something. So yeah, there's some kind of something unexpected here. Again, perhaps in love for some people. Some of you, this could be an unexpected child. But there definitely seems to be some kind of action that needs to be taken here. Some kind of communication that you need to take a risk and initiate in order to, and you know, you will sort things out. It does seem to be travel, and you definitely have this energy in the 6th and 8th houses of doors opening for you and you being able to move ahead. You still have these aspects here that are a little bit challenging with regard to career and maybe with people you're networking with or people you're involved with. But again, I feel like you are being provoked and pushed in a particular direction for a reason. So if you find that a door closes on you, it's because you're meant to go in another direction. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Again, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell if you do want to continue to get notified about these videos. And we'll see you next time.